Hello fellow YouTubers, it's me Tom Versal here. We're going to do just a quick, hopefully quick, mini review of an EP, one of the most important releases ever in my opinion. This is a debut by Buzzcocks, ooh, almost fell out, Spiral Scratch. Now I don't have the cover for this, I got it for 50p, which even for no cover version, 50p is just amazing to get this with. But I have the CD version, which was not so cheap, but yeah. Buzzcocks, Spiral Scratch. This is a very, very important release. So let's just go over some background on the album, or the EP. It's only 4 songs. Basically, Buzzcocks were a band, and they were punk band, punk rock at the time, pop punk sorta, and they did a few gigs, but they are very important in the fact that they booked Sex Pistols, their arguably most iconic, most important gig ever. They booked Sex Pistols, their first gig, one of their first, but I believe it was their actual first gig, as they were both punk bands, and it was in their college. Sex Pistols didn't go to college, I don't think, and Buzzcocks probably didn't either, but they booked the gig at college, a lesser trade set. I forgot the name of it, but you know what I mean. They booked a really important gig. They kickstarted Sex Pistols' career, basically. Buzzcocks touring with Sex Pistols, Buzzcocks and Slaughter and the Dogs, I believe it's called. Those bands are all together for this. And so yeah, Buzzcocks, they're very important. They're the best pop punk band ever. I don't give a shit what you say. Fuck Green Day, fuck all that lot. Buzzcocks, they kickstarted it, they knew how it worked, and they were masters of everything that they did. Their punk rock early stuff, their pop punk middle stuff, and their post punk. They were perfect in the 70s. I've not heard much of their newer stuff, but I'm sure that's just as good. They are great. And Pete Shelley passed away in December 2017, I believe. Or 2018, yeah, 2018. And it's so sad that he passed away. He was a genius, so rest in peace to him. But Buzzcocks still going strong with Steve Diggle on vocals and stuff. But anyway, they released this under their own New Hormones label, and that doesn't sound too weird to say, but this was the first do-it-yourself record. This is very punk. They inspired people to say fuck you to record labels, releasing our own stuff. And it was sort of a hit. It did very well. And, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it charted. Obviously, it's an EP, but it did well for what it was. Just an individual release that they did themselves under New Hormones record, sort of. And yeah, the only issue with that to me is this album sounds very raw, very rough, very cheap, not really polished, but great. It sounds great, but you'll know what I mean if you've heard it. Like, the guitar just sounds like sort of really rock. Like, it sounds like he's not playing with metal strings. He sounds like he's playing with rock. It's really weird, like stone strings. I know they don't exist, but that's just what I imagine. The guitars just shred your ears on here. And the vocals by Howard Devoto are really loud and aggressive and punky, whiny, British. Let's go over the personnel anyway. So John Mayer on drums, Steve Diggle on bass, Pete Shelley on guitar, or it's labelled a Starway guitar. It was a really cheap guitar. Can't get it nowadays really, but it was a really cheap guitar. That's probably why it sounds weird. Then Howard Devoto on vocals. Howard Devoto later went on to leave the band after this release and formed a post-punk band called Magazine, who are brilliant. But yeah. Now I would show you the 7-inch, but again I haven't got the cover, so let's just go over it. The first track is, I have to look at this because it's confusingly laid out on the DVD. The first track is a Breakdown. Now, Breakdown is an amazing song. Breakdown is just I think it's just about having a breakdown, obviously. But Howard Devoto's vocals on it are amazing, and guitar is done really well. Drumming as well. John Mayer is a really solid drummer, like a solid drummer on this. And breakdown, great song. The next track is Time's Up, which is even better. You know, Time's Up, you probably know of it if you're a Buzzcocks fan. I don't think any non-Buzzcocks fans would be watching this, really. But Time's Up was their first bootlegged album. I've got a CD release of it here, actually. If I could get it out, because it's paper sleeve. Yeah. They had a bootleg called Time's Up, and it's basically just a song got very iconic back in the day. And that's a live bootleg that kickstarted them. But Time's Up is brilliant. Loved the lyrics on it. Love Pete Shelley's backing vocals. Guitar's amazing. There's nothing much to say. Every song on here is basically the same way. The guitar's amazing, even though it sounds like it's shredding your ears. And the singing's amazing from Howard Devoto. You would never get Buzzcocks Howard Devoto vocals anywhere else in the studio, sort of. The next track on side B is Boredom. Now, Boredom, I think, is even more iconic. I think Boredom's the most iconic song off the album. If you've heard any track off this album, you've heard this one. Boredom, boredom. It's very punk in the fact that they're just talking about boredom. Anywhere you go, boring. There's boredom, no matter what. And that's all it's about. And yep, a really good song. Now the second track on side B, the final song of the EP, is Friends of Mine. I think it's just about how friends of mine, like your friends, can't really be too trusted. You've got to always have your eye on them, even though you're friends, I think. But anyway, either way, it's really good. One of the songs on here, I'm not sure which one it is. The guitar solo sounds like ass, but I like it nowadays because I'm into post-punk. I know about Pill, all their guitar sounds the same. But not gonna lie, one of the tracks on here, I forgot which one it is. I think it's Time's Up or Friends of Mine, but the guitar solo is just like, it's just really weird. But it's good now I'm into post-punk. That's why I did the Gateway into Post-Punk video. You get used to it, the weird guitar sounds. But yeah, get a poster with the CD release. And it's just some other pictures on that side. But obviously I'm not putting that up because I want the front cover. Anyway, overall, there's not much to say about it anymore, but I just wanted to start reviewing Buzzcocks stuff, and I thought it was appropriate to review their debut. It is amazing. I recommend listening to Singles Going Steady first, and then maybe listening to all the Pete Shelley albums, because they're better than this, but this is still amazing. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay epic.